Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about another e.l.f. drop. These just arrived in the mail in PR. This is the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands. And these are supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Contour, Blush, and Highlight Wands. They launched them all at the same time. They sent me all three products in several shades. So the contour ones come in 5 shades, but they sent me 3. The blush ones come in 4 shades, but they sent me 3, and then they sent me all 3 of the highlight shades. So each of these are only $9. And if you're familiar with the Charlotte Tilbury Contour, Blush, and Highlight Wands, these retail for $42. So these are $33 more than these, which is so significant, especially when buying multiples. So we're gonna try this out. I'm gonna put these on this side of the face. We're gonna do the Charlotte Tilbury on the other side and see how they compare. I feel like similar to the e.l.f. Halo Glow filter, the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter dupe. The shades aren't necessarily identical, but the formula is supposed to be the dupe. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen here as well. So first of all, let's talk packaging. It's very similar. These are smaller than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but let's take a look at how much product is in each one. So this has 0.33 fluid ounces. This is 0.40. So this does have slightly a little bit more, but it's not that much more really. I have the shade Fair to Medium in the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with their famous foam applicator tip. So I'm gonna swatch this on my hand so we can kind of see how they compare color-wise. So here's the Charlotte Tilbury one. Now this one, I'm wondering, so this one is a twist off cap instead of like one that pops off. I don't think it has a lock on this. Oh wow, so very different color. This is the Fair to Light shade from e.l.f. and you'll see it's much more cool toned than the Charlotte Tilbury one. Let me see how the light to medium shade compares. Okay, so the light to medium is a lot more warm. So really the shades are not similar at all to the Charlotte Tilbury one, as you can see. It seems to be a very similar formula in the way it applied though already. So let's go ahead and use the Charlotte Tilbury Contour one first. We'll do this on this side of the face. I'm just gonna do little dots all over, and then I'm just gonna blend this out with a brush. The thing I like about the Charlotte Tilbury ones is how well they blend out. I feel like it shears out really beautifully on the skin. So even though it applies as a pretty dark shade, I feel like you really can make it work even if you have pretty fair skin like myself. I know this might look funny to do a nose contour, especially since the shades are gonna be quite different with the e.l.f. wand, but I do wanna do a little bit of a nose contour as well. I'm actually really excited about the Fair to Light shade in the Halo Glow wand. I keep wanting to pull off the cap, but it is a twist off cap. Let's do the same thing where we kind of dot this along the skin. Honestly, I feel like this shade could be really nice for that contoured effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use a different brush to blend this out. Yeah, it's blending out like very, very similarly. It shears out nicely, just the same as the Charlotte Tilbury one. Once it's blended out, it doesn't look all that different, which is kind of funny. I'm gonna add just a little bit more right here. I guess you can see the slight bit more warmth after blending it out, but it's really not that drastic. They blend it out just as well as the Charlotte Tilbury one. I actually really like the shade. There's no skipping or anything like that, which is great. So far, these are really nice. So let's move on to the blush wand. So I have the Glowgasm Beauty Light wand from Charlotte Tilbury, which I will swatch right here so you guys can see what that looks like. And again, I'm not sure if the shades are going to be very close. It's the same exact packaging as the contour wands with all the blush, the highlight, and the contour. So let's go ahead and choose one of these. I think that this one's gonna be the closest shade dupe. So this is called Rosé You Slay. Let's see how it looks next to the Pinkgasm one. Okay, this one does look a little bit more peachy, but honestly, once it's kind of reflecting, they look very, very similar. So I should show you guys too, the applicator on the blush and the contour and highlight, I guess, is a lot smaller than the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I think is actually kind of nice, especially for contour, because you can get a little bit more precision with it. So you can see how drastically smaller the applicator is. All right, let's go ahead and do the e.l.f. side first. So I'm just gonna do like 3, 4 dots like that, and then take a brush and just blend this out. Also, obviously, I already had foundation on and concealer. So if you want to know what else I have on my face, I'll have that down below. I'm just gonna do a little bit more on the very apples of the cheeks. So far, this looks really pretty. And then I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm and try to do like the same amount on the other cheek. And then I'm gonna take a different brush and just blend this out all over the skin. Once that's blended out, I mean, again, looks very, very similar, even in shade, to Pinkgasm. So if you've wanted a Pinkgasm dupe, the Rosé You Slay is definitely that. I'm just adding a little bit more of the Charlotte Tilbury to match the intensity of the e.l.f. one on the other cheek. Next, I'm going to be trying out the Halo Glow Highlighter Beauty Wand, and I'm going to be using Champagne Campaign in the e.l.f. one, and then the one that I love from Charlotte Tilbury is the shade Spotlight. So first, let's swatch Spotlight, which is the Charlotte Tilbury one, which looks like this, and then we will swatch Champagne Campaign. I like that name. Right next to it. And I just want to show you, because it's satisfying, how fun it is to see the product come out of the sponge. I don't know. I thought that was satisfying. Okay, let's see how this looks next to Spotlight. Okay, immediately it's already a little bit more champagne. Once it's reflecting though, they're very similar. The Charlotte Tilbury one has a bit more of a pink undertone in that color, where this one has just the slightest bit more yellow, but you can see how similar they're gonna look. And then the second shade is Rose Quartz, which is kind of like a pinky color. The third shade is Liquid Gold, which is a true gold. So let's go ahead and do the e.l.f. side first, since I have it. Just gonna kind of dot it around the high points of the face, and I'll just use my fingertips actually to blend this out. I'm just layering a little bit more of this on, and then I put a little bit above the brow too. Just gonna blend that out with my fingers, kind of tapping it over top of the blush. This looks so beautiful. I love how all three, the contour, blush, and highlight, are blending so well together. That's obviously very important, especially with glowy products, you know? Okay, I'm kind of going around the same area on the other cheek with the Charlotte Tilbury one, and just pressing that into the skin as well. I love this one from Charlotte Tilbury. So pretty. But I mean, you're gonna get a very, very similar effect from the e.l.f. one, which is so cool. So you can get that like filtered kind of glowy look for a fraction of the price. I mean, something about the Charlotte Tilbury one I still love a little bit more. It's almost more smoothing, it feels. At least the highlighter is. But that's me being very picky. The e.l.f. one is really beautiful too. It kind of has a little bit more of a watery consistency versus the Charlotte Tilbury has a little bit more of a balmy base. At least that's how it feels to me personally. But you can see how similar that is. I did the math, and it's actually kind of crazy that those three products on my face is 126 US dollars. These three on my face is $27 for all three. So you save a significant amount of money for a very, very similar effect. What do you guys think? I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Let me just finish up my makeup really quick, and then we'll look at the makeup up close and see if I can see any difference after like using powder and stuff like that. But right now, man, it's so pretty. I feel like e.l.f. has done it again, but let's finish up my makeup and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. All right, so I just finished up my makeup. Again, if you want to know anything else I'm wearing, I'll have it in the description box down below. But everything applied on top of both sides really well. I really only set the T-zone and I used the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder, so you still get a little bit of that glow, which I love. But honestly, you get a very, very similar look. They look almost identical. Honestly, they pretty much are identical. I feel like I'm being a little bit picky, and I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury has just a little bit more of a smoothing property versus the e.l.f. ones, but that's me being really picky. And is it worth paying like the extra $33 per wand just for that little effect? I don't know. If you already have these, obviously I feel like you're good to go. But if you've wanted to try these and the price point is just like outrageous, because it really kind of is, especially if you're trying to buy multiple or you want like to have a contour, a blush, and a highlight shade, or several blush shades, whatever, it does add up very quickly. I do feel like the e.l.f. ones are an incredible option. You're gonna get the same effect. I feel like e.l.f. is so amazing for that, and they've really done an amazing job with so many of their recent launches. I'm actually wearing the e.l.f. lipstick that they recently launched too. They just are doing a really good job. In fact, it makes me want to do a full face of e.l.f. sometime soon, so let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that, because I think it could be really interesting. I feel like they've really stepped up their game over over the past like 2 or 3 years, and I'm loving everything they're launching. I don't know about you guys. So for me, it's honestly another win from e.l.f. When it comes to this type of a product in general, for me personally, I get the most use out of the contour ones. I don't know, I just feel like the formula is really nice, really forgiving, really easy to blend. Then I would say I get more use out of the highlight wands, and then the third one would be the blush wands, which I know are like really viral, this Charlotte Tilbury one anyway. But for me, I feel like I love to use a more matte blush most of the time, so that's just my personal preference. Honestly, I don't think you would go wrong with any of them, and I'm really, really happy that e.l.f. keeps expanding the Halo Glow range. It honestly feels like so far the Halo Glow range is all like a Charlotte Tilbury dupe, which is really interesting. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are looking forward to trying out the e.l.f. Halo Glow wands. I'm somebody who really, really has enjoyed their Halo Glow filter and also the Halo Glow setting powder, which I think they just recently updated the package on this. I love this powder so much. You're gonna get that gorgeous lit from within type of a glow with this line from e.l.f. and I love the price point. It's definitely worth it. So for me, I'm already enjoying them. I think you guys will love them as well if you've been wanting to get this sort of an effect but didn't want to buy the Charlotte Tilbury ones. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this dupe and what do you think of it on my face? Do you feel like they look super similar? Because I definitely do. I feel like they definitely are dupes for each other. Even though the shades were a little bit different on some of the products, upon application, I think you get a very similar, if not identical, effect, even down to the color, honestly. Since the formula is so sheer, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing another win from e.l.f., another dupe, and let me know if you guys would like to see a full face of e.l.f. because I really think it would be fun to do sometime soon. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you.